In the land of the rising sun, a new day has dawned on Japanese rugby. The competition, formerly known as the Top League for 18 seasons, has been rebranded as Japan League One. And what a classic to kick things off in round one. A Tokyo classic, Sungoliath against Toshiba, Suntory Sungoliath. Jeff McTaich in commentary for this one. A pleasure to be on the call alongside me, a man who spent part of his career playing in Japan at Yamaha, Willie Lose. Konnichiwa, Willie.
Konnichiwa, Jeff. Yeah, great to be with you on this occasion as well. A new dawning, a new competition, and it's really exciting. We've seen even the results today where there was an upset with Kobe being beaten by Israel Folau, scoring 2 wonderful tries. So that's the great thing about it. The depth, as you'll see once they name the teams, and there's some real class in both of these sides.
Here's the competition for 18 seasons, featuring amateur players, fully professional. The new Japan League One competition, and great to see a good crowd in Tokyo for one of the traditional classics, Toshiba against Suntory. Suntory last season, as we take a look at the conferences. Division 1, 12 teams split between 2 conferences. This Conference B with Suntory and Toshiba, and then 7 in Division 2, 6 in Division 3. That is the new layout of Japan League One in its inaugural season. A fantastic year last year for Suntory. Couldn't quite get it done in the final against Saitama Panasonic Wild Knights. As we take a look at the Sungoliath, an experienced team. Harry Hockings, Tui Hendricks form a formidable second row. Look out for Sean McMahon in the number 8 jersey. Talented pairing in the halves for Suntory. Nakamura and Karevi, the dangerous wrecking ball at number 13. And a debut for that man at 15, Damien McKenzie. One of the big signings in the off-season in Japan League One. And a talented bench too, Tavita Lee. Well, he was scoring tries for fun last season for Suntory. And the man in the 20 jersey as well, Tavita Tatafu, to add some impact later in the game. Well, Toshiba, founded 1948, 5-time winners of this competition. Jacob Pearce from the Blues, North Harbour, alongside Warner Dearns, another talented second row. Michael Leach, the Japanese skip. Matt Todd at 7, a former All Black in the form of Tom Taylor running the cutter for Toshiba this afternoon. Seta Tamanavalu, former All Black at 13. And look out for Johnny Nakambula at number 14. 7's experience. And plenty of experience on this Toshiba bench as well. Jack Stratton ran the cutter last year for most of their games. And Johnny Fauli in the number 22 jersey. Dangerous as always.
Well, it's great. This stadium was, of course, used in the 2019 Rugby World Cup. Ajinomoto Stadium being used because, of course, Prince Chichi Bunamia has been redeveloped at the moment. And so a new venue, and a great occasion for these two sides.
And that is what they're playing for this season. Japan League One trophy. As we see Toshiba run out onto the park. And look out for the man in the number 4 jersey today, Warner Dearns, born in New Zealand. And what a story it's been for the 19-year-old, the son of former Silver Fern Tanya Dearns and Grant Dearns. He debuted for Japan last November at the age of 19 after only a handful of games for Toshiba. And he forms a talented locking combination with Jacob Pearce, a Kiwi. They were well beaten last year by Suntory, 73 points to 5 in round 5. But the likes of Michael Leach there, you can see Matt Todd. 25 test matches for the All Blacks. It's a new season. And Suntory, well, they want to make another statement in 2022. All the way to the final last year, unbeaten in the regular season. And just going down at the final hurdle against the Wild Knights. Well, Bowden Barrett was a star for them last year, the top point scorer in the competition. But all the talk has been about this man, Damien McKenzie. 95 games for the Chiefs in Super Rugby, 40 test matches for the All Blacks. And today he debuts for Suntory in the number 15 jersey. Willie, can't wait to see how he goes.
Well, this is a quality Suntory side. They really did meet a very good Panasonic side and unable to get the championship. But boy, there was class from 1 to 23. And Damian McKenzie, he's going to get plenty of opportunities from fullback. They've got the Japanese pairing in the halves of Nagare and Tamura. He's such a quality first fivers, Tamura, and I think that he'll look to try and get as much ball as he can into the hands of Damian McKenzie.
So it'll be Toshiba in the form of Tom Taylor to get this one underway.
There comes the countdown, Jeff. That's 5, that's 4, that's 3.
A new era of Japanese club rugby is upon us in Tokyo. It's Toshiba against Suntory. And Tom Taylor with the kickoff into the sunshine. Ball is awkward, but Michael Leach pounces on it. And it's there for Ogawa. So look to get into their work early here. Taylor floats the ball away. And they go down just on the 10-metre mark. In the form of Seta Tamanivalu. In fact, he's got it now. Tamanivalu floats it away to the left wing. Matsunobu. And it's Suntory, though, that win the penalty. I think that was Damian McKenzie in his first act.
Yeah, it was. Straight over the ball. They couldn't get him out of the ruck. But have a look at the pass from Tamanivalu that gave some space out on that left-hand side for Matsunobu, and there he was, Damian McKenzie, straight in on the ball, all rights to it. First penalty of the game.
Hikaru Tamura, former club man at Toshiba back in 2016. A tidy start for Damian McKenzie, affecting the turnover penalty. Horikoshi, and they go to Harry Hockings at number 5 this afternoon. Little chip over the top, does the sit up for McKenzie, no, but it's there for Samu Karevi. Quick play here for Suntory, and charging onto it, Horikoshi, just outside of Toshiba's 22. Now McKenzie, oh, just can't hold on. Ozaki, and the ball is lost forward. They're just showing early signs, willingness to play the ball, Suntory. Just outside of Toshiba's 22, back for Taylor in the pocket. Ball is an out, and it sits there for McKenzie. And now they look to move it through Nakano, and now Samu Karevi. A couple of players on him smartly. Tamanivalu, one of them. Here now for Oku Ozawa, just up over the 10 inside Toshiba's territory. McKenzie at first receiver. Here it is, beautiful little pass. Nakamura straight through the gap, floats it away. This will be the opening try, will it? Suntory in, and Seo Ozaki will score it.
Oh, terrific play from Suntory. They opened their account after 4 minutes. And the message would be, if you're going to kick the ball, don't kick it to Damian McKenzie. Otherwise, you're going to find all sorts of problems. It was an easy take for him, and then they just attacked down the right-hand side. There's the captain of Suntory, Nakamura, and that is money. In, out, around, see you later. Suntory making it look easy.
A deep pass there. McKenzie, beautiful for his captain, Ryoto Nakamura. And the way in and out, and that was a fantastic finish from Seo Ozaki. And Willie starting the way they started last season. Suntory Sungoliath.
Something that really stood out to me too is Karevi's, it's his second season. He feels a lot more comfortable here in Japan as well. That you can see him now, he's getting involved. That break that he made where the kick was over the top from Tamura, that got them to go forward. And then on the second occasion when Damian McKenzie brought the ball back, it was Karevi again bringing in 2 or 3 defenders.
Such a talent, Damian McKenzie, showing his wares at first receiver. And that's for his first points in Japanese rugby. That one's away. So Suntory through Ozaki on the board. Just over 4 gone in Tokyo. Harry Hawkins lines this up, and he does a good job too. Clean take off of the restart. Nugget away to McKenzie. Makes it away again, just tries to find a wee bit of space. Nugget again, and now running is Hikaru Tamura. He's well taken care of by the Toshiba defence. It's a wee bit of support, the halfback. Yutaka Nagare goes to the sky. Yeah, Tom Taylor's done well there. Just on the halfway line for the former 3-test All Black. Akihiro Ogawa look to play smartly here. Toshiba. Johnny Kumbula gets him go forward for them. Hawkins, little short ball to the tight head for Kaji. And Taylor, a few options. Trying to get over the ball here in the form of Nakano. That's still there for Toshiba, and Harry Hawkins puts his head down, trying to hold him up in the play. Ogawa, they go deep again. And breaking through, Seta Tamani Valu tries to free the arms. He's swamped by big Harry Hawkins. Now Taylor has a wee bit of space and massive hit. Ka Nakano coming in on the first 5-8, flattens Suntory the turnover, and quick play here, and another big hit, this time from the diminutive Matsunobu on Kirevi. And there's a seatbelt tackle there, so an advantage for Toshiba. And they hit back just outside of Suntory's 22, picked up by Michael Leach, the Japanese skip, good into play here amongst the forwards. Ogawa looking down the short side. McKenzie with his strength tries to hold him up. What does the referee say here? No, he's going to go back, I think, Willie.
Great passage of play, both teams. Boy, it's willing. Nakano putting on a shot, the tight head prop, and then Matsunobu. That's where the high infringement was, around the neck. It's dangerous. But Matsunobu putting on a shot on Karevi. Good man.
Not many can say they've done that against the 36 Test Wallaby. Patience from Toshiba here.
So he's kicked it dead. Well, the referee, I thought that he had said that it was dead, that the ball had gone in the end goal, but a great attacking opportunity here. And this is one of Toshiba's strengths, is their forwards. They've got big units in Derns and Pearce. They'll certainly win their fair share of ball, and then they've just got to make sure that they take Suntory on in the forwards. I also like seeing Tamani Valu getting involved as well, Jeff. It's a good sign. He got a bit lazy last year, sort of stuck out in the centres, expecting the ball to come to him. You have to go looking for work in Japan. And so it takes about a year before you actually get the system and the way that they play the game for you to understand it. And it's great when foreigners actually do appreciate and know that they have to go looking for it, as opposed to just standing in their normal position where the ball would normally come.
Toshiba, Ajinomoto, and it goes, and Fukunaga, now Leach, bumps off one. Almost bumped off Sean McMahon, had him around the bootlaces. They drive inside the 5 here, Toshiba, looking for the response. Could it be here for Derns? He's on the line, is he? They score! Warner Derns. Well, that's the kind of play that got him in the Japanese national side, and he hits back for Toshiba.
Yep, Jamie Joseph had big raps on this young man. As you mentioned, his mother was a terrific netballer, a great athlete, and this is just off the whiteboard. You practice this where you send your skipper around. He takes the first ruck, and then you go a little bit more forward, and look at Derns out wide. He's going to be running into some small players, and over he goes. And Toshiba hit the lead for the first time.
Just 19 years of age. Warner Dunes, and we'll take another look. Copybook play off of the ruck, and the big lock forward. 6'8" of him, smashes his way over. And there's some stats. Standing over 2 metres, 117 kgs as underway once more. Oh, player fell awkwardly there. And play on. No, the referee's whistle has gone as Nakamura looked interested, and it's been lost forward.
Like the recruiting that Toshiba have done in 2022. Jacob Pearce you spoke of. Well, his father's here as well. His father's never left Japan. Been here so long. Of course, Scott Pearce, the former New Zealand Sevens representative. Jacob's mother, Jane, obviously a good athlete as well. I know that they'll be watching. And making his debut here. And it just brings some real energy and real size, which is what Toshiba lacked last year.
Stable platform for Toshiba. Ogawa has it at the back there for Taylor. He floats it away to Seta Tamanivalu. And 13 on 13, Karevi makes the tackle. Bit of confusion there. Matt Todd gets the ball away to his halfback. And they look to settle things down through Pearce. Got a penalty here as well. Wasn't releasing Harry Hockings.
It's a good matchup, isn't it? Hockings up against Pearce. Tui against Durns. Tokunaga up against McMahon as well, the two number 8s. And so, real key battles. And how good was Matt Todd in getting to Tamanivalu to make sure that he secured possession to put Toshiba into a position to drive play down into the Suntory 22.
Good nudge from Tom Taylor. 58 games for the Crusaders. Spent a bit of time in France with Toulon and Pau. Now he finds himself playing in Japan for Toshiba. Ajinomoto, they go to Dunes again, and they set them all. Not straight. In fact, no, there's an infringement there. Obstruction. And Suntory. It's been a tidy start after the early try, hasn't it, Willie, by Toshiba, showing how they want to play this game, some tall timber.
Yeah, I really like what Toshiba are doing. They're actually going to take Suntory on in the forwards, and they have to. You got to earn the right to go wide, and you also need to beat up your opposition if you can up front. So it's going to be a slugfest. Suntory, well, they're class, aren't they? They've only had, what, about 15% of possession, Jeff, if that? And they show just how dangerous they are with that try.
Horikoshi, the Japanese international, throws in. They win a penalty here. And pulling him down at set piece. So a couple of penalties. That one against the veteran Michael Leach. You see there, just got his left arm on the player. Great to see a crowd in too. Of course, affected last year by the pandemic. Plenty of players back in that one, not straight. So a few issues at set piece for both of these teams that line up.
Horikoshi there putting his hand up. He knew that wasn't straight. Boy, when you throw into two tall timbers, it's annoying as a player. And you know that the opposition are not going to oppose in that position to not get it straight.
Inside 22. Crouch. Bind.
Ogawa will just clear it from here.
Ogawa has it off of the back. Front rows go down. The little halfback runs with it. Can't find Matt Todd. And an advantage now here for Ryuto Nakamura and his Suntory side. And they go down this left through Shimokawa. the blindside flanker. Now they set the play, putting the head down as Hendrik Tui. The veteran ball is lost, but the referee was playing the advantage for the offside.
Good line speed from Toshiba and really meeting force with force as well. Pearce involved again on the tackle, and Michael Leach, well, he'll be disappointed at the discipline of his team in the last 5 minutes in particular. Giving away 3 penalties in quick succession. And Damien McKenzie says, I'll take the shot. Of course, Tamura is the Japanese kicker, and so they have got the luxury of going back to him if they need.
Not a bad luxury for Suntory, that's for sure. So Damien McKenzie, Willie, well, he'll be feeling his way into Japanese rugby. You alluded to it before. Slightly different brand to perhaps what he's used to.
Absolutely. He will bring a lot of fans in through the gates, through the turnstiles, because of the flair that he has and the way that he loves to play the game. Not sure what he says to himself here, Jeff, before he has a big smile.
The trademark grin, Damien McKenzie, first one away, and this one's on target. So Damien McKenzie with his first points in Japan League One rugby, and they have the 1 point lead here in Tokyo Suntory. Taylor once more hanging inside of Suntory 22. And there it is, Kanji Shimokawa, head down, straight into contact, and McKenzie now back in the pocket. Long ranging kick off of the right boot, and good distance too. He's not too happy with it, but decent clearance from the 40 Test All Black. Ajinomoto turns again the target. Had someone to pass it to. Does get it out eventually. Taylor floats it away to Mani Valu. Bumps off one. Can't get around McMahon. Taylor picks up the scraps. Can he get the ball off? Yes, he can. They go Hashimoto and ball loose. So we'll play on the call here from the referee. Hack through. Jacob Pearce might have a try. He will. Oh, he wants to check it. That's playing to the whistle.
And that's terrific refereeing as well. Kawahara, you can always go back and check. Try okay means that's a good try, so he's going to be awarded. They had a look at it, they didn't even need to check, and Jacob Pearce, welcome to Japan. Boy, he's a big unit. Remember when he was 2 years old and we were in Japan together, we used to call me big guy. Now I call him big guy because he's massive. And look at him, he just kept his eyes on it. He might get a contract with one of the football teams here as well. Terrific skills from a big man.
Fantastic skill set. The man, formerly of the Blues and North Harbour, Jacob Pearce, on the board in Japan Rugby. Oh, what a story. This man burst onto the scene in New Zealand Rugby, went on to play 3 tests, a couple against the Wallabies. His last actually in 2013 was against Japan in Tokyo, Tom Taylor. And a handy addition, that is for sure, for Toshiba. They lead 14 points to 8 in Tokyo. Karu Tamura. Restart and more contact again. They are trying to take the ball in the air. Yeah, it's on the side of Suntory. Here it is. Play on the court. Horikushi gets it away to Ozawa, the open side flanker. Scores a try in there on defence. Jacob Pearce trying to affect them all turnover, but they must release. And now Sean McMahon tries to get the leg drive going. Good tackle, Matt Todd. Away, and they have an advantage here for the offside. Samu Karevi. Got 4 players on him, trying to bring him to deck. They do. Nagare thought about the short side play, flag up, but the referee was playing the advantage for the offside.
Just love the attitude of the Suntory team. Always looking to keep the ball alive, always looking to run different angles and put people into space. Hence the reason they made it through to the final last year. Now it's decision time, and Mackenzie says he wants another shot.
That'll be a key part of their run this year. Just falling short against the Wild Knights, Robbie Deans' side in the decider last season. And Milton Hague will be delighted to have this man as they look to win their first title since 2018. There he is, Milton Hague. All of that experience. They went back-to-back in 2018, did Suntory. And they, along with the Wild Knights and Toshiba, have 5 titles apiece. He's made a pretty tidy start as he looks to add another 3 here. Got a read on it now. Damien McKenzie flags up. And it's a 3-point game in Tokyo, 14-11 Toshiba lead.
Yeah, the brains trust of Suntory, Milton Hague, and for Toshiba, well, Blackhat will be very thrilled with the way that his team has started this match.
McKenzie, cut out ball once more. They just look to work it outside of their 22 here. Yutaka Nagare under a wee bit of pressure. McKenzie. Yeah, he scrambles it into touch up toward halfway. Think about the IP, Willie, across the board in Japan rugby at the moment. Not just Milton Hague, it's everywhere.
Of course, Rob Penny. I go back over 20 years. There is Todd Blackadder, but I go back 20 years where Eddie Jones was actually coaching Suntory at that time. Had a major impact, and I'm sure he's still involved.
Go up. Now Taylor, little short ball for Mac Todd. Just on Suntory's side of halfway, big contact. McMahon coming in on Tokunaga, his opposite. Intricate little double round there for Toshiba. They try and open up Suntory, but had a couple of good tackles so far this afternoon. The tight head, Nakano. Now Jacob Pearce into his work in the opening 20 minutes, and they win a penalty. Rolling Suntory.
Yeah, you're fine. You're good.
So whenever they throw it to Toshiba, they stand up, and midway through this first half, Tom Taylor can have a crack about 40 out, Willie.
Yeah, and a good decision too. Just keep the scoreboard ticking over. As you mentioned, Toshiba got absolutely annihilated last year. 70-odd points, wasn't it, the difference? And so, boy, what a turnaround they've made in 12 months. They look a lot more accurate. They look a lot more composed. And they're making good decisions with ball in hand.
Yeah, the loss in round 5 last year against Suntory went on to the second round of the playoffs, Toshiba, where they were beaten by Rico. And they went in with a 3-4 win-loss record from the regular season. Taylor just dying a little. Has the legs though, Tom Taylor. So Toshiba extend the lead at 6 midway through the first half in Tokyo. Again, shallow one this time, and it's well taken by Warner Dearns. Ball left behind, but it is there for Nakambulla. Look at his pace. Johnny Nakambulla tries to get around the defender, and Michael Leach can't hold on. Ball popped up, but there for McKenzie. And now perhaps a counter-attack for Suntory. Nakamura floats it away to Ozaki. It was on there for Johnny Nakambulla. Down the right wing for Toshiba, but Suntory inside of their 22. Look to get something going here. Through that blindside flanker. Shimokawa up toward the 10-metre line. McKenzie steps off his right, scrambles the kick along the deck. And it does sit there for Matsunaga, the fullback. And an advantage here for Suntory. So McKenzie can chance his arm if he wants. Nakamura. Surely none will come of that, and it won't.
I tell you what, they'll sleep well tonight. Boy, this has just been end to end. Nakamura, he had Tamura on, looked to try and beat him, and then he popped it up, and as you mentioned, Leach couldn't catch it. There he is on screen. And Suntory's mindset is not to kick it out, it's to move it left to right, find a mismatch, and see if we can go the distance.
Well, with the likes of Damien McKenzie your side, Milton Haig will need no reminders of his ability to open teams up from any part of the field. It's a hallmark of their game last season too, with Bowden Barrett pulling the strings. Good scrum, Suntory. McMahon off the back, Nugget. Little inside ball for Nakano. And there it is for the halfback again. Now Hendrik Tui, head down. Pearce goes looking. Nugget again looking for the one-off stuff here through Horikoshi. Now Samu Karevi, Tamani Valu got in a good position, made the front-on tackle. Harry Hawkins at first receiver. At Todd looks interested. Damien McKenzie off the Nugget pass and down this right wing again. Ozaki gets the ball away. McMahon takes him on. Oh, he reaches out and scores. Sean McMahon, absolutely brilliant.
McMahon magic here in Tokyo. Boy, they were patient. They just did everything so well. Just do your job is what their motto is. And that ball is money out to the try scorer, Ozaki. He loops around McMahon and then he just becomes Mr. Gadget and stretches out.
McKenzie again, the vision and the interplay. Ozaki, what a ball away to McMahon. Says, get out of my way to Matsunobu. And set it to Mani Valu as well. And that is just raw power from the 26 Test Wallaby.
He's been terrific in the competition. A guy that doesn't say too much, just leads by example. And I just love the way that Ozaki knew that he was there. The no-look pass, just flick it up and let the big number 8 go to work. Boy, he's hungry.
McKenzie ices the try to Sean McMahon. Well, what an advertisement this is for the rebranded competition. Tit for tat in Tokyo, and it's the Suntory Sungoliath with a 1-point lead.
Well, these two teams have dominated Japanese rugby along with Panasonic. In fact, the three sides have dominated for the past 2 decades.
Hawkins again. Clean take off of the restart, down inside the 22. McKenzie. A bit of contact through Hendrik Tui just to work it out. McKenzie again, flat ball or can't find someone, but it does sit up there for the number 14, Johnny Nakamura. And I think he might have done something to his leg. Well, you got to call him Johnny on the spot there.
Well, they just went to the well one too many times there, and the captain, Nakamura, couldn't handle the pass from McKenzie. And Johnny Nakamura, the Fijians, they do this every morning. It's like a religion for them. They can pick the ball up and not change speed, stay as quick as they are. Saw him flashing around on the sevens field so many times, Johnny Nakambola, the 27-year-old, and he opens his account in 2022. And Suntory guilty of trying to play flash rugby in their own red zone.
Yeah, perhaps a bit cute on that occasion. Toshiba, they are up for this game. Remember last year, round 5, well beaten, soundly beaten by Suntory. 73 points to 5. As Tom Taylor adds the extras. Johnny Nakambola, well, he scored 5 tries last season for Toshiba. He gets on the board in 2022. And born in Fiji, as Willie said, Japan sevens. Size, power, speed. Turns, can't take it, but it is there for the try scorer. Down inside of his 22, Ogawa. Now they go the more traditional route here, Toshiba through Pearce and laid back for Tom Taylor. Mackenzie thinks about it.
Todd Blackout will be absolutely thrilled with that set play. After you've scored the try, get possession and get the ball out of your own red zone.
There it is for Suntory. Nakamura finds a flat ball, a charging Samu Karevi. That one was very flat to Sean McMahon, but play on the 10. And in fact, they've got an advantage here. Suntory, Tamura, they fire it away here. Karevi frees it up to Nakano. Shogo Nakano has players inside. And he only finds Jacob Pearce, but the referee will march back. He was playing the advantage.
The class again of Samu Karevi. Drew in 3 defenders, which gave space down that left side for Nakano. And you saw his experience, all those internationals that he's played, that he held Nakambola in as well. Just kept him there so the winger couldn't get out. Well, that really was a chance that went big, and they should have done better there, Suntory. Showing yet again what a real threat they are. Anytime they get possession, they can hurt you.
You see him there standing in midfield, Samu Karevi. Fantastic season. Nominee for World Rugby Player of the Year. And you got to feel, once this Suntory side get into their work in the first couple of rounds, they'll be one of those teams that are there at the pointy end of the season. But Toshiba, got to say, Willie, a bright start. Sweetly struck, Damien Mackenzie. No mistake. Great kick. And it's a 3-point ball game. Toshiba with the lead over Suntory. Making the call, and no mistake this time. Easy enough for Hawkins. Nuggery. Trying to get outside the 22, Tui. Man born in Auckland. Mackenzie. Flatter kick this time, and straight down the middle of the park as far as Taylor. Plenty of time. And Suntory have the penalty here.
Well, a couple of his forwards were lazy running. That is just really disappointing, that you're allowing Suntory just to get easy meters. Taylor looking to bring the ball back, and some of the popos, some of the front rowers just running block. Obviously you can't do that, and Suntory are going to get a huge advantage here. Into the 22 they go.
Yeah, a bit of a wall there, didn't he? Tom Taylor to run around. Easy enough for the referee.
マークの位置、マークの位置どこ？最初マークどこ？マークここね。はい、マークここ。はい、一歩ずれて。一歩、もう一歩、もう一歩。はい。
Kosuke Horikoshi.
この位置行くよ。このラインでこの位置行く。
A few mistakes at line-out time in this first half. How's this one? It's clean enough for Hawkins. Horikoshi on the wraparound. Coming in there is Nakano. Getting involved. The number 11 for Suntory now. It's the hooker again, Kosuke Horikoshi. Building nicely here. Suntory, Hendrik Tui. Nagare. Oh, lovely play, Suntory, but Tamura is well taken care of, and Nakao drives him back, and they win a penalty here. The player was off his feet, and they defuse another one, Toshiba.
Terrific defensive read there from Toshiba in the midfield. Tamanivalu. And also, Nakao, Todd was in there as well, adding his 98 Ks to make sure that they didn't go any further forward. It's been so impressed with this Toshiba defence in the first 35 minutes of this game. Five tries in 35 minutes. If this is the new competition, bring it on.
Certainly has been a quality first half. 35 gone in Tokyo, and it's a 3-point lead for Toshiba. They march inside Suntory's half. Ogawa is wrapped up by the big lock forward, the former Reds player in Harry Hawkins. Taylor cut that ball past left, Kamani Valu. Keen to play with some pace here. Taylor again, Nakao. Now it's for the number 3, Yuta Kojai, roaming up toward the 22 here. Toshiba would love another one here just before the half-time break. Over the ball is Ozawa. He's got his hands on it. What does the referee say?
No advantage. They'll go back for the high tackle. And it was from Hawkins on Ogawa. Little man on big tall tower. And this is where he just went too high. Well, he ragdolled him, didn't he? Like taking the garbage out.
He didn't have his ID at the nightclub. Harry Hawkins sent him out the door. Former Australian under-20. Another one of these young lock forwards on display in the Japanese competition. Just 23 years of age. Warner Dern's 19. Jacob Pearce, 24. Hendrik Tui is in stark contrast, 34 years of age, so plenty of young talent, both locking departments. He's a good pickup, isn't he, Tom Taylor, Willie? Seasoned player, time in France, and you can see why he was an All Black.
And of course, just that calm composure that he has, and great kicking technique as well.
Sure, his father Warwick is watching on, former All Black, and he sends it through. 27-21 Toshiba.
There wouldn't have been too many people in Tokyo who would have picked this scoreline at half-time.
Here it is for Takunaga. Toshiba number 8. Taylor again running things well for the boys in red. Just happy to play a conservative exit approach here. The high ball from Taylor, the contestable, and how's it worked out? It's worked out for Hayata Nakao. Close to that far touch. Ogawa. Okaji. Taylor again, some low numbers in midfield. There's Michael Leach, 6 on 6. Shimokawa makes the tackle for Suntory. That's the tight head again. He's been heavily involved as Yuta Kokaji. Trying to get over it. Suntory, they do well.
Well, a clean, just not good enough. Ozawa was there. They needed to get him out of the way. And the referee said that he had all rights. Boy, he's a quality number 7. And he's one of the best going around. There's Naoki Ozawa, Suntory number 7. And this will put a smile on the face of the management and coaching staff of Suntory if they can get to within 3 at the break. They've been limited with the amount of possession that they've had and time in the opposition half as well, but they only trail by 6, possibly 3. So I'm sure that Milton Haig will just say, look, we're playing too much rugby in our own half. We need to actually get down their side of the field first and attack from there. Chocolate fish, he gets it, Jeff?
We've got some vegan lollies here, mate. Vegan jellies, so they'll have to be those.
Yeah, you're eating those by yourself. What a vegan lolly, what's that about?
I'll get chocolate fish next time, mate. My mistake. Can Damien McKenzie. And a few more for Suntory. Off of the woodwork, McKenzie. That ball will dribble dead. So a couple away for Damien McKenzie, and 10 seconds or so left on the clock in this first half. And Toshiba, well worth their lead. A 6-point advantage at the moment, and there's the hooter. Perhaps one last crack from McKenzie, running from deep. Nagare, Tamura, Nakamura, the captain. Burns tries to get over it, but there again, and almost tipped. Murikoshi, referee says play on. McKenzie, wee bit of space, frees it up to Nakano. He's well taken care of, Shogo Nakano. Toshiba, 10-metre line, flying onto it, Harry Hawkins. Got to get out of there, Nakambula. Yeah, Todd up to make the tackle on defence. And they have an advantage here, Suntory. So perhaps one last chance to try and crack Toshiba. Karevi got the ball to Hawkins, off to his hooker, Horikoshi. A little bit of space here now for Suntory. McKenzie running in support. And the flag is up, but in fact he'll go back. So we play on, will he?
Yeah, the penalty. And McKenzie will have another shot at goal. And make the adjustment on this occasion as well. Todd, the man that just hung around in that rack a little bit too long, and the referee said that he played the ball while he was on the ground. And this is the reason why I'd imagine that Todd Blackadder will just be saying to his troops at half-time, Jeff, that they just need to have a little bit more composure and a lot more discipline.
It's been a contrasting half of rugby, that's for sure. Suntory, Milton Haig side, keen to play the ball anywhere on the park, especially with this guy in the number 15 jersey. But Toshiba, a conservative exit approach, has been working for them. Tom Taylor directing things well at 10, but the opening half of rugby in the competition this season, plenty said at half-time, that is for sure.
How good has Yutaka Nagare been for Suntory, the halfback? His ability to get there so quickly, but also his delivery, his passes have been spot on.
He's been fantastic. Great service for McKenzie and Tamura at the club since 2015. Yutaka Nagare. This time perhaps for McKenzie. On the angle, floats it round, flags go up, and that is the halftime whistle in Tokyo. And it's Toshiba with the 3-point lead. They lead Suntory 27 points to 24. Welcome back to Tokyo, where we have a game on our hands in the opening round of the inaugural season of Japan League One, formerly the top league And it is Toshiba with the 3-point lead over Suntory, 27 points to 24. Some great tries, Willie, in that opening 40.
Wow, Toshiba, 2 locks. Derns and Pearce getting on the score sheet. So yes, Derns and Pearce as well as Nakambulla, so 3 tries to 2 for Toshiba. Can they continue and keep that up in the next 40 minutes?
Fairly tidy start for Damien McKenzie and his Japanese club career. Hikaru Tamura with the ball for Suntory. And the second 40 in Tokyo underway. Toshiba the lead. And again, Derns takes it in off of the kickoff. Taylor, Pearce, second receiver. They floated away here. And Seta Tamanivalu toys with the defence, but that one goes straight into touch. Not his best work from the former All Black.
Change of mindset as well for Toshiba. They normally would have set a target in the midfield or use one of their big popos to head up to then look to clear, but on that occasion they went wide. And they had the numbers there as well. Suntory hadn't reacted as quickly as we see a change there with Yamamoto on in jersey 20. Replacing Tokunaga, who started the game at number 8.
Crouch.
Scrum, sure enough, in the opening half for Suntory, and an early chance here at set piece for Yutaka Nagare, and a stable platform. There it is for Samu Karevi in midfield, straight to ground, good tackle. Nakau. Here comes Suntory. Opening couple of minutes of this second half. Good inroads inside the Toshiba 22. Nagare off to his hooker, Horikoshi. And off the deck for the halfback to the loose head, Ishihara. Just trying to control possession here. They do. Out to move it again, and Tamura. McMahon has it. An advantage as well. As Nakambulla makes the tackle. No advantage will come, so an offside here. An early chance for Suntory to plug the corner.
Ball carrier mine. Toshiba line away.
And we see a more composed effort from Suntory in the second half. To open Toshiba up here. Horikoshi. They go to Harry Hawkins. Good take. Karevi flying onto it. Hard to stop. Just 3 metres out here. Has his hands up to Sean McMahon. Head down for the line. He's over. Referee taking a look. I think he got there.
He definitely got there. They're going to check, but the referee was on the wrong side of the field, and McMahon picks up a double. This will get the green light from the TMO. So he's saying that he just got to check the grounding because he obviously didn't see it. Well, it's called no try on the field, but I think they'll get the green light. You can see there McMahon, he knows he scored. I suppose the question is, though, Jeff, was there a double movement or did he lose the ball in the process of placing it on the ground? Because he certainly looked a little short initially.
He scored a beauty in the first half. With his big mitt reached out after going through a couple of defenders. There's Sean McMahon scored a second here for Suntory. And what would be a perfect start to the second half. Good for me, Willie. And we'll take a look. See what the referee says here.
Time off, time off.
There it is, changed the decision on the field. McMahon gets a double. What a player. What class as well. Nothing on. He got it from a standing start as well. Defence was set. He just went around the corner and then he just used his class to get over. Terrific start in the second half.
That's how you do it. Sean McMahon had his hands up, said, look, give me the ball. He's a big man and that close to the line. Extremely difficult to stop. Second for Sean McMahon and Damien McKenzie. Handiest position all afternoon. So McKenzie slots it, converts the try, the second to Sean McMahon, and Suntory early in the second half have the lead in Tokyo, 31 points to 27. Milton Hague thinking, well, that's more like it. Taylor. Hawkins again. Yutaka Nagare. Hendrik Tui puts the head down, makes his way just outside of his 22. Contestable up from Nagare, and ball is loose and knocked forward. So an advantage here for Suntory. Michael Leach making the tackle on Tui. The ball is ripped away by Warner Dearns, but will come back. No advantage for the lost forward.
I would have thought there was enough advantage. They got over the advantage line and then they lost the ball. They should have just played on. But anyway, gets the call from the assistant referee and they come back. Toshiba, though, they look a little bit startled by that start. And they changed the game plan. They obviously went into the half-time and had a talk about what they need to do. There's the handling here is 12 and 45 minutes.
I talked about the forward packs before this game. Milton Hague will be fairly happy with the platform that Yutaka Nagare has had. Tamura and Kerevi floats the ball away to Shogo Nakano. Dangerous in the first half. Over the ball here to Sheba. I think that's set up to Manivalu, but Nagare has it. Slow ball from the ruck. Tui tried to free it up, but straight on the ground. That one against
Tamani Valu. You can see there the referee saying his hands were on the ground, not the ball. Just a beautiful double miss. 10 to 13. Karevi gives a lovely ball, missing McKenzie straight into the hands of Nakano. And then that's when the infringement occurred. It's been all Suntory in the opening 6 minutes of the second half.
Tamura takes play up to the 22. Tamani Valu, the one ping. So Kosuke, Horikoshi, Hawkins has been the target. And yep, once more, they go to the big man. And a all set inside of the Toshiba 22, edging towards the far touch. Kosuke Horikoshi looks to straighten things. Todd pleading with the referee. Karevi gets the leg drive going. Samu Karevi. Tamura, McKenzie. Oh, good tackle coming up on the little fullback. And the referee will come back, though. Another penalty to Suntory. Starting to mount in this opening 7 minutes of the second 40.
Well, they'll kick to the corner again and use the line-out that was so effective. Matt Todd pleading with the referee that he couldn't get away any quicker. So how do they defend this? Suntory, look at those penalties. That's what I was wondering how high they were getting. Almost 3-1. Discipline from Toshiba hasn't been great in the opening 7 minutes.
I wouldn't bet a chocolate fish on Harry Hawkins getting this one. Willie.
There he is.
There he is. Yeah, Morwood was working well just a minute ago for Suntory, close, and they score. Try is scored. And it goes to their loose head, Shintaro Ishihara.
I think it's McMahon. McMahon's getting up and getting the pats on the head. I think the number 8's picked up a head trick. Have a look at this. He puts his head in. Have a look at the arm. The man with the tattoo. That is McMahon.
Eagle eye, Willie. They were trained on the loose head prop. Goodness me. It is hat trick today for Sean McMahon. Claret to boot, isn't he happy? And Suntory, what a start to the second half in Tokyo.
Well, I hope the coach of Suntory, Milton Haig, hasn't used his best halftime speech in the first game. Boy, they're a different team in the second half. Someone poked the bear in the changing room.
Well, if it was the Al Pacino Any Given Sunday speech, it's worked a treat for Suntory. McKenzie starting to get things dialed in, but that one is away again. So a little bit of an issue off of the tee this afternoon, but Sean McMahon, value at number 8, that is for sure. I've been given a stern test from this Toshiba forward pack, but rolling their sleeves up in the opening 10. And it's a 9-point lead now for Suntory. Hawkins again. There's coming through, form of Ozawa. Here for Taylor and Toshiba inside of their own half. Well taken care of. Ayata Nakao. And Suntory have turned it over. So some real urgency on defence here for Suntory. Tamani Valu, pinball straight into the Suntory player onside. And players charging through on Kan Nakano.
Matt Todd's in there. Surely he gets the penalty. Great defence. Great work from Toshiba. Turns with the tackle, and then Matt Todd just in a perfect position, got over the ball. And finally, Toshiba will actually get their hands on it for the first time in the second half.
Chance to settle things down here for Tom Taylor. We talk about value in this Toshiba loose trio. Michael Leach there, but Matt Todd. 140 games for the Crusaders, 25 test matches. Fantastic fetcher. And this is what they need. Try and stem the bleeding here. There's more changes for Suntory. It goes Pearce this time, and ball is loose. Can't hold on. Hayata Nakaiwo. And so a turnover for Suntory. Nakamura to his centre partner Karevi. And Tamani Valu eventually ragdolls him to ground. Michael Leach and Todd in on defence on Tui. Just on Suntory's 22. Nagade to Hawkins. Now Karevi smack! Big hit! Johnny Nakambola on Samu Karevi. And that is the turnover for Toshiba that they wanted. Gee, some contact there. Cut out ball, and there it is for Kokaji. Now they get the march on. Toshiba, they have an advantage too. Nakayo, cut out ball here for Matsunobu. 15 out here. Leach cutting back, Michael Leach. 6 out Toshiba. Pearce wants another. Ogawa has it at the base. Now they look to work it wide here through Seta to Manivalu, bouncing players out of the way. 8 metres out, Ogawa. Good consistent play here, 8 phases Toshiba. The hooker has his hands up. Ajinomoto diving over the 5. Here they come again through Nakambulla. 3 metres out the wing. And they're over. Diving through Jacob Pearce. And the referee, after 10 phases, will take another look.
This is the try. They're going to check for the grounding. What a terrific build-up. As you mentioned, Jeff, 10 phases. They have gone 10 phases. They had an advantage as well with the penalty. And so there you go. He's called it. Jacob Pearce, welcome to Japan. And what a way to make a statement. We're talking about McMahon and how valuable he's been for Suntory. Jacob Pearce has earned his paycheck today.
Jacob Pearce into the Japanese game. He doesn't need a second invitation there. Big left mitt on it. And over he went. On-field decision try. Matt Todd thinks that's good too. Take another look.
So they're saying, is there a player that was obstructed? No, I don't think so.
That's just general players in it around the ruck. Yep. Well, there's not much you can do about that.
No, and he's just conferring it with the TMO that he came from an onside position, he picked the ball up and he put it over the line. This will get the green light, and it should.
North Harbour, the Blues, and now Toshiba. Jacob Pearce. A couple of tries in Tokyo, and Tom Taylor makes no mistake. And what a game of footy this is. 2 points, the difference. Suntory the lead, 36-34.
There is Todd Black out in the far left. You mentioned the 2 locks that they've got, the youth, but also, mate, Hendrik Tui, the work that he is doing for Suntory, Herculean, if there is such a word.
Restart good, taken there by Toshiba, just outside of the 22, and Taylor again happy to get his tight forwards involved. Jacob Pearce. And Taylor again for the contestable. And he'll go back. He's carried back, not happy with that. Not his best work of the afternoon. Hasn't made too many mistakes, if any, Tom Taylor.
Yomban is 4, Hendrik Tui, he's out. And Jusamban, which is 13, so Karevi replaced by Tavita Lee.
66 games of Super Rugby between the Blues and Highlanders. Tavita Lee, he was in some form last year. And on in the 23 jersey, looking for more work here. Sean McMahon having an absolute blinder in the number 8 jersey. Nugget picked up and carried forward. Morikawa. Hawkins waits. He runs into some staunch Toshiba defence. Nugget again. Keeping it patient. Tamani Vale with his strength. He rips the ball away. Good job there from the centre for Toshiba. And Derns will tidy up. Plays it back for Takahiro Ogawa. And the halfback scrambles. Well, all things considered, a pretty handy kick into touch.
Terrific turnover as well, showing the upper body strength of just holding the player up and then just ripping the ball out. I think it was Tamani Vale that you mentioned, and boy, that was a lifesaver. Suntory looking threatening. More changes. Boy, they don't get any smaller, the big boys over here, do they? One big unit replaces another.
A physical game, high tempo, and both benches need to be utilised as Tavita Lee gets in on the action. at first receiver.
Good job.
Taka Nagare again. Namura, McKenzie, beautiful hands on Ozaki. Oh, and down he goes. And forward it goes too. I think he may have dinged his arm here.
Looked really awkward. Everything was here. Lovely from McKenzie, just a no-look pass. And then he just put the skates on and everyone goes skidding. It's like they're on the ice rink. I know you're going to the Beijing Olympics, but shouldn't be happening like that on grass.
Just slipping on the deck. Yeah, nice for the line there. Seo Ozaki.
Scored a great opening try, didn't he? And Nakambula, well, he can't carry on. That left shoulder's not looking too good. Wants to try and run it off. Good luck.
Beautiful little pass dish on from Damien McKenzie. Big period of play here, you feel, for Toshiba. Coming up to the hour. Desperately need to clear their lines. White coming on, Suntory, big scrum. They do have it though, Toshiba. Yamamoto coming away with it. And they've got a penalty as well. The player off his feet. And that'll help. That one against Ozaki.
Boy, that was good work from Yamamoto. I can tell you from experience, it's not easy when your scrum starts to go back and you've got to pick and go. If you can get a metre, most players would say that's fantastic, but for him to actually get 10 metres and to just charge forward, absolutely sublime. How about this big unit, Tatafu rather, Tavita, the big Tongan-born. He was a handful replacing McMahon.
And Naoto Saito on in the 21 jersey, another quality player for Suntory. Pierce takes it, Todd. Here comes Toshiba at Matsunobu off of his wing. Ogawa, Tamani Valu. Up to halfway here, Toshiba. Now they march inside Suntory's half. Chinin, Taylor. Looking to get something going. Well taken care of, Hayata Nakao. And driven back inside their half. So Ogawa thought about going left, goes right, gets swamped by Ozawa, the open side flanker, and there's the penalty for Suntory.
Now there might be more problems for Toshiba. There you go, there's the excitement from the front row club. But there is the problem that I was talking about. Michael Leach does not look good at all. He got absolutely belted there.
Oh, just that right leg, I think perhaps an issue there.
Wow, might be checking the rib cage as well, just having a count to make sure he's still got them all there. He is tough, isn't he? What a terrific ambassador he is for the game in Japan. Of course, led Japan in 2019 to that wonderful result.
Take a bit to get Michael Leach off the field. 100+ games for Toshiba. A career at the club spanning more than a decade.
Yeah, he was one of the players that actually came over to Japan as a university student, so came through the university system of playing rugby at university, and then obviously into the company league. Has done very well with looking at things outside of rugby as well, Jeff. He owns a couple of cafes in Tokyo, so anyone visiting Tokyo, pop in and say hello. He'll be behind the counter for sure.
Better than a TripAdvisor review from Willie Loso, that's for sure. Check out Michael Leach's cafes. And Damien McKenzie, there's the smile while he's enjoying, I think you'd have to say, his first crack in Japan League One rugby. Couple of issues today off the tee, but not so on that occasion. And it is a 5-point advantage now for Suntory, 39 points to 34. As we enter the final quarter in Tokyo. Taylor down to Hawkins again. Driving forward. Tamani Valu in there. And the ball is presented back for Saito. Naoto Saito gets the high kick up. And it's well read in the end by Toshiba. Ogawa just on their 10-metre line here. Taylor decides for the chip over the top this time. How's it worked out for Suntory? Saito has it. And now Shogo Nakano. Heading over it is Jacob Pearce. They win a penalty. Big penalty, and there's the Pat. A couple of tries today. That's what he can do on defence, Willie.
Well, he's such a gifted player. You know, he doesn't shirk the responsibilities. He loves putting his head in the dark places of rucks and mauls, and when he's needed and called upon to be the loose forward, he does that as well. Terrific debut for him. And what an asset he will be for the Toshiba club.
Futoshi Mori coming onto the park, reserve hooker, 50-plus games. And there is Kyosuke Kashikawa. As Michael Leach looks to... Well, good to see him walking okay there, Willie, but yeah, perhaps just had the wind knocked out of him a few minutes back.
Boy, I'd love to see someone running off Tamani Valu. He's looking for the offload all the time, and in fact, he's at the front of the line out, so stand by.
Mori, and it goes. Pearce, the target. Here comes the maul from Toshiba. Defended for the time being, at least, by Suntory. Once, says the referee. Gets the pat, does Ogawa. Now they move it. Hughes. There he is. Tamani Valu loses it forward. McMahon says, I want 4. They move it down the left here. Tavita Lee breaking through. Now can he beat the last defender? He bumps off the player. Tavita Lee, this is magic. Tavita Lee. Oh, fantastic. Taken down on the 5. Just out. What a run from Tavita Lee. McKenzie wants it. Taken through by Saito. They score, Suntory. Naoto Saito, but Willie Losay put that down to the brilliance of Tavita Lee.
Well, he just smiled at Damien McKenzie, saying, sorry, mate, because he could have popped the ball off the ground and given him a try. But have a look at this, and the work by Nakamura. Have a look at the Fijian flyer. He gave him a 15-metre head start, and then he pulls him back here, and he gets the old, get out of here. Don't waste my time. And then when Tavita Lee got to here, he just needed to offload, and that's try time. But look at the heads-up play from Saito. They had players to burn out to the right. If he didn't score, he would have been in a heap of trouble from his teammates out on the right. And thankfully, he gets across the line.
Naoto Saito had about 400 players outside him. As Willie said, this has been a quality game. And what an advertisement for the newly branded, the newly minted Japan League One. McKenzie slots it. 46 plays 34. And Suntory have the lead. Saito with the try. And we've still got plenty of time left. 17 to go in Tokyo.
Well, they've gone to a different level. It was 27-24 at half-time to Toshiba. They went into the half-time lead, and then it was the 10 minutes of the second half that's broken the spine of Toshiba.
Man again, full of running. Hits it off to Hawkins. He's driven down by Tamani Valu. Naoto Saito at the base. There's the kick. And again, Matsunaga under some pressure, the fullback. Therefore, Ogawa on the back foot, though. And Fujino, the loose head to ground. That's the story here. Referee says play on, fair contest. And so, Tsuji in the 19 jumper for Suntory. Places for Saito. Damien McKenzie again. Tamura working well in partnership. That combination inside of their own half here through Nakamura. Saito again spies a wee bit of space. That's a brilliant kick. Scores the try. He's added some real impact and energy. And why not? Big smile. Great kick, Saito.
High percentage play. Got the luxury of the ball bouncing into touch. Had the right angle. But boy, it's been physical. Make no mistake, Suntory have really upped their game in the second half, in particular in the forward pack. As Stratton and Fauli come on. Well, I'm going to need a guy that's got an S on his shirt and a cape gets changed in the telephone box, but Suntory just playing the percentage game, Jeff, and well, they've been terrific in the second half.
I couldn't see Clark Kent in Tokyo, but you never know, he might show up. Tom Taylor, great day for him. Played his heart out. Got a couple of key players. Jack Stratton ran the cutter for the most part of 2021 for Toshiba. Hawkins can't quite reel it in, but it is there for Tavita Tatafu. Slow ball. Hawkins waits. In fact, it's McMahon again. A hat-trick this afternoon for the Wallaby. Short pass there. Running onto it, Shogo Nakano. Trying to affect the turnover to Toshiba, but Saito. Now going to ground is Tsuji, just inside of Toshiba's 22. Patient game here for Sungoliath. Morikawa, Saito, Tamura, inside ball for Damien McKenzie. It'll fend on Matt Todd. And again, Tamani Valu in there on defence, trying to affect a turnover. Hawkins tried to free the arms, but a good tackle. Yamamoto still going forward. Suntory, Saito looks for two. He's two out. Suntory on fire. Another try here. Might make it really difficult for Toshiba. Nakamura, the kick across to Tavita Lee scores. Well, he almost had a brilliant try a few minutes ago, and this time off of the Ryoto Nakamura kick, Tavita Lee scores it for Suntory.
The top try scorer of the under-20s a number of years ago, and this is why he is such a good asset to have, to bring him on. We saw him with his pace earlier, and now this is just pure power. Keep your eyes on the ball and then just go to the line. And he's so hard to stop. 6 foot tall, 98 Ks. He runs like a sprinter. Well, 95, he must have dropped a couple of kegs. But he runs just like a sprinter, and he's so hard to stop, as I mentioned, and Nakamura had no chance. And what about the heads-up play from Nakamura, though? That cross-field kick, that's why he's the captain of the Suntory team. He just makes great decisions. 10 phases, Toshiba on the ropes, and Suntory just gave you the knockout punch.
No, flicked a switch. They've threatened to do that this afternoon. This second half, though, yeah, whatever Milton Haig said in the sheds has worked a treat. McKenzie, the angle. That's one of his better kicks of the day. Damien McKenzie. He converts the try to Tavita Lee, and all of a sudden, a game that was fairly close. Suntory, 53 points on the board.
3 tries in the first half, Jeff, 4 in the second, and it's been quality.
12 to go. The crowd here in Tokyo have been treated. The classic arm wrestle between these two sides. Good go forward here. Tsuji, the number 19 jersey, Takayasu Tsuji. And real flow to the game now for Suntory. 22 jersey, Neguma back on the the inside for Ozaki. Looking for another. Tails up now, Suntory. Here they come, Mackenzie. Players rushing up. Fauli. Nakamura, the captain, on the angle, scores. Ryoto Nakamura, well, a beautiful kick pass for Tavita Lee. Says, look, I want one myself.
Yeah, he's a quality player, no question. Has the ability to run great lines, and it's the ball from Damien McKenzie. He's able to get on the outside of Fauli, and then he just comes back and increases the position. But there, Fauli shooting up out of the line. He is quality with a capital Q, and he is some captain.
Absolutely. Great player for his country. Started all 5 games at the 2019 Rugby World Cup. And there was some cutback for his try. He's had plenty of practice today off the tee, hasn't he, Willie? Next week for Suntory, it's another classic, Toyota Blitz. And Toshiba, well, they'll have NTT, the Red Hurricanes, in round 2. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on Sky Sport. Round 1 of the new Japan League 1 competition is Mackenzie again on target. And it is 60 points to 34. Suntory showing why they ran away to the final last year. As the changes keep coming. Tiro Makabe in 17. Nakamura looked interested, but it falls there for Futoshi Mori. Straight at the base. Matt Todd shifting it on here. And Damien McKenzie this time on defence. Close to the touchline here, Toshiba. Johnny Fauli goes into clean, and they win a penalty. Play not rolling.
Well, you can see with our graphics there too. Jeff just explained. Some people are saying, what's bra? Well, it's Toshiba Braves. So that's the reason why that, people are going, which team is Toshiba? So Toshiba Braves, that's the reason the bra is up there.
Yeah, Toshiba Brave Lupus and Tokyo Suntory Sungoliath, but being a traditionalist, Willie, you'd stick with the company name?
Absolutely. The millions that they pour into the game every year. And it's a great advertisement for the company as well.
Mori goes in. Pearce again had a quality game as the 24-year-old this afternoon. Maul on here for Toshiba. Goes to ground, arm out, of course. That's been all Suntory, but they've kept playing Toshiba, and that'll please their coach Todd Blackadder as Matt Todd is just 1 metre out. Another advantage here. Stratton, cut out ball, set it to Manivalu. Driven to ground, some good contact coming in. Shogo Nakano. Stratton again, this time Yamamoto. Stratton again, and Toshiba just trying to find a crack in the Suntory defence, which is really shored up in this second half. Kajikawa to ground. More recycle for Jack Stratton. Derns, a good front on defence. Hawkins, cut out past Fauli. Yamamoto, 3 metres out here, and they've got a penalty. So after 6 phases, we'll go back.
Go to the set piece. Go back to what's working well for you, and that's the line out. This is where players, and I say it quite often too, Jeff, that foreign players that come into this league need to get involved. We saw there Johnny Soli. He's basically been a traffic cop. He's running around all over the place. That's where he needs to get his hands on the ball. He's such a big player, powerful player. And this is where they need him. That's where the Japanese look to their foreign players to get them over the advantage line.
to the back. Jacob Pearce again. Just getting organised here. Back to Pearce again. Got to keep it moving. Matt Todd has it. Todd close. Still there for Toshiba. They reach out. They score. And it's Dearns who gets it. Warner Dearns. I've talked about the performance of Jacob Pearce this afternoon. This kid, 19 years of age, has had a fantastic game too.
Yeah, it really has. And this has been just what the doctor ordered. They needed to roll the sleeves up and try and outmuscle Suntory here up front. Todd goes close, and then Dearns picks up, scored one in the first half, opened the account, and he picks up a brace in the second. Todd did so well. McKenzie thought that he could get the ball, and just look at the body position for a big man to get down that low and then drive. Great technique.
A bright future, that is for sure. Already capped internationally after only a handful of games for Toshiba. And he's a sizable unit for just 19 years of age. A couple today. Well, he was involved in everything in that passage of play, Matt Todd. Can you believe it? 99 points in Tokyo. And still 5 to play. Jacob Pearce putting a wee bit of footwork on. Can't get around Sean McMahon, who I think has almost turned that over. No, still there for Pearce. Lays it back. Fauli to Tamani Valu. And the bootlaces, good tackle, the captain. Ryoto Nakamura Stratton. Just flying up on defence, Suntory. Here it is, Nakao taken in the tackle of Shunta Nakamura. Playing all the footy at the moment inside their own half here, Todd. Again, ball loose on the ground, Pauli reaches back for it. I think it might have been turned over here. Yes, it has been. Naoto Saito, McKenzie, cut out ball. Again, looking likely Suntory, ball away beautifully. Lee, he's going to get 2. Referee will check it, but Tavita Lee likes that one.
Yeah, no problem at all. That is just beautiful play. It's the width that Suntory play with. The bullet pass was from McKenzie to McMahon. And he then gave it to the winger, he gave it to the other winger, the left-hand side. So it's just quality play. Toshiba guilty of trying to play too much ball in their own red zone as well. Here's the turnover. Well, that's where they're going back to the kickoff, but that's just his lifters that have let him down there. Well, no, it's not. It's actually Hawkins has come through and made contact with him. So this could be a penalty to Toshiba. Hawkins there is obstructing the player. That is definitely a penalty.
He'll be pinged here, Harry Hawkins.
I always used to think it was the lifters that sometimes lose contact with the guy that they're putting up in the air. It's their role to make sure he comes down safely. But Hawkins can't get in there and touch him. He has got to award the penalty. And so, and a yellow card and no try.
Well, he's had a good afternoon up until this point, is Harry Hawkins, but he'll be sent to the bin for the remainder of the game. Early shower. I'd be fairly happy with his work today with Suntory, who trailed 27 points to 24. Would you believe it? At half-time in Tokyo. And from that point on, Milton Haig, I'm sure, has liked what he has seen from his side. Could have found a bigger chair, Willie. And it goes Toshiba, Derns, and in fact that's on the side of Suntory. McKenzie hasn't run a lot today, Damien McKenzie, but his distribution and some of the subtle touches have been fantastic. Gets it back, ball off the ground. McMahon again. He looks fresh, doesn't he, in the number 8 jersey. Piling through on Suji. Toshiba being held up here. Yamamoto, all his strength at 20, and they've got a turnover from them all. $36 points for Suntory in the second half. Just 12 for Toshiba. Man born in Taihape. Jack Stratton, Canterbury, Waikato. Stint at the Crusaders. Good scrum, Toshiba. Eventually gets it off of the back to Stratton. Big floating pass away to Manivalu. Get out of my way, Nakanoi says. Eventually brought to ground. Derns again. This promising lock forward. Here it is. Matsunaga. 25 out. And we'll come back. 1.5 minutes to go in Tokyo in the opening round. And the day is almost done for McKenzie and Suntory.
And the penalties are starting to even up as well. Very much against Toshiba in the first 40 minutes, where they conceded 12 penalties to Suntory's 5. It's a cruel game, rugby, isn't it? 40 minutes, you're on top of the world, and then a second 40, you're scratching your head.
They had the lead, didn't they, at the break, and it's almost like just a flick was switched in that second half. Suntory came to life, started opening them up. Bench has really had an impact for both teams.
Yeah, exactly. And also the key players have really stood up. McMahon put his hand up in that opening 10 minutes of the second half to pick up a double, to make it a hat-trick for him. Saito's been excellent, and then impact, as you say, from the bench from guys like Lee and others. Tell you what, that's a lot of tape for 2.5 minutes. Boy, I wouldn't risk keeping him out there if I was Todd Blackadder.
Big part of Toshiba this season, Jacob Pearce, what a game he's had too. And look to run it off. Mori Pearce manages the jump. Here is the maul. Nakao, the second 5'8", at the back with it. Getting it marching forward. This is more like it from Toshiba. Nakao, he scores. Well, I'm not sure what car he drives in Tokyo, Hayata Nakao, but you won't get a much easier ride than that.
Oh, that would have been like owning a Tesla and just sitting at the back there and then just letting it drive itself. Look at all the hard work, though. Everybody is in on it. Everybody's in there. The backs have joined in, and even Stratton says, I'll try and get there for the last part. Oh, yeah, that's cruise control.
Do you drive a Tesla, Willie?
No, Toyota.
He's putting all the plugs in today. Yeah, plenty of torque in that maul, that's for sure. And tidy way to finish. Todd Blackadder will be pleased with plenty of their performance the scoreboard certainly doesn't reflect the way Toshiba have played in this opening round. Hayata Nakao to convert his own try. There's the hooter. And Suntory, beaten finalists last year, start the Japan League One season. And Damien McKenzie's debut with an emphatic victory in the end. 60 points to 46 over Toshiba.
2022ディビジョン1第1節東京サントリーサンゴリアス対東芝ブレイブルーパス東京プレイヤーオブザマッチの発表です。この試合のプレイヤーオブザマッチは東京サントリーサンゴリアス8番ショーン・マクマーン選手です。末久正明マッチマネージャー